meanwhile, resulted in a surprise defeat to Mayo. This afternoon in Fitzgerald Stadium, they were hoping to cheer the home supporters by taking the points from Monaghan. The commentator for this game is Ger Canning.
Kerry had to find a late replacement for Donncha Walsh, who's out with a one-match suspension. So Kevin McCarthy gets the nod to come into the forwards. Shane Enright and James O'Donoghue return, having missed the Mayo game in Tralee, while Ronan Shanahan plays just his second ever match for the Kingdom. Monaghan, meanwhile, look to maintain their unbeaten run in the Alliance League and repeat their victory over Kerry 2 years ago in Tralee, when Conor McManus kicked 5 points. 3 changes made this week see James Mealiff come in for Neil McAdam, Jack McCarron for Thomas Kerr, and Dermot Malone, a late substitute, coming in for Conor McCarthy. It could be the quintessential game of two halves because of the very strong wind here. Kerry are backed by that for the opening 35 minutes. Nicely down here to James O'Donoghue. He can make things happen and usually does. Into Paul Gainey. Too many blocks and too many defenders there. But nearest we've been to a score so far in this match. Struck the upright. Spilled here. Eventually it is Kevin McCarthy who takes the free kick, having been fouled. And there's a chance for Kerry to do something special. David Moran, front of goal! Doesn't need a second invitation. David Moran may have had a penalty saved in the last home league match. That was in Tralee, but here in Killarney, he finds the back of the net. Tyke Morley. He has to scamper after this one to keep it in play. He's done well in that particular part of the task. Now what can he produce here? He's going to go for it. Wonderful kick. He really did go for it in very determined fashion. Paul Murphy. James O'Donoghue looking for Paul Gainey. What a ball that is. What a... Oh, it should have been a goal. It was a terrific pass. The challenge came in, put him off. But what a ball that was. Put on a plate for Gainey. Well, by now, Kerry could have themselves 3 goals in this match. So McCarthy is very strongly built. Had Killian Young passing him by there in support. Not sure he saw him. He sees Paul Murphy, and Murphy has a go from a fair distance out and gets a really good score. Colin Walsh advancing. On his shoulder here was Carol O'Connell. Back out it comes again to a support player, Kieran Hughes. Here's an opportunity for Monaghan to make inroads. What a good stop that was by Brendan Keeley. With Conor McManus advancing, and the referee lets the advantage go, and it is a goal which is scored by Jack McCarron. This was the initial save here from Conor McManus, and Keeley this time powerless to prevent the follow-up through Jack McCarron. Kerry powerless to do anything about this. Monaghan just playing it around on the Kerry 45-metre line. Stretching Kerry, owning possession. Kieran Hughes, Barry's after him. It's still Hughes, trying to make an angle for himself. And it's gone over, somehow, after all of that. That's Gavin Dugan, head down, determined. Lays it off there. Owen Duffy's in. Dugan, what a goal! Gavin Dugan. Great start to the second half. Gavin Dugan at the end of a receiving ball here, which was played to him by Conor McManus, and he really planted it in the corner. Great score. Shane Kerry. Again, played in well here as far as Jack McCarron. Good looking shot. Really fine score. Suddenly when there are gaps, there's a great deal more to their forward game. Conor McCarthy. Conor McManus kicking from fair way out. What a point that is. Tremendous point. McManus finally gets off the mark. His first point of the day coming after 61 minutes. Well, this is really looking very serious right now for Kerry. They won their first league match in Letterkenny in Donegal, lost to Mayo, and they're losing to Monaghan in game 3. Well, it's all or nothing from Kerry's point of view at this stage. They need a goal just to level the match. We're in the 66th minute, and the referee is stepping in now. And he's having a word with his linesman on the near side, who's James Birmingham. And Brian Sheehan, who's only just come on, has got a red card. And this is what happened, and this is the reason why. There, that particular blow that he used after he was being held back. Monaghan, who beat Kerry in Tralee 2 years ago, are on the verge of repeating that. Conor McManus goes again. 20 seconds to go when he kicks it. I'm sure he's feeling at this stage it doesn't matter because the seconds are just ticking away. We're nearly at the end of the 4 minutes. The referee looks at his watch. It's all over. And Monaghan have come to Killarney and they have beaten Kerry by a point. It finishes here. Monaghan 2 goals and 8 points. Kerry 1 goal and 10. Monaghan by the minimum.
We always knew it was going to be a difficult place to come to, and I suppose the weather didn't help either, but in the first half we were against the wind. We set up well, started the game very well. In fact, I thought we controlled the game fairly well. The goal knocked us back a wee bit, but we were able to respond to one. When we went in half-time 2 or 3 points down, we felt we were really in the game with a chance, but it was a case of not getting overexcited in the second half, not kicking the ball away, not being stupid in the ball, just being patient, and we knew the wind would help us get a few scores, and I suppose that's the way it turned out.
It would have been nice to have got something out of the game, similar to the last game where there's a bit of frustration there. We didn't get something out of it, but look, you get out of a game what you deserve, and we probably didn't deserve that much in the end.
Why do you think it didn't go quite so well for you today? You mentioned frustration.
Yeah, I just think that maybe we weren't as accurate as we can be, particularly in the first half. There was a strong breeze here and we had chances and we didn't take them, and maybe we needed to be a bit further ahead at half time. But I think you have to give a lot of credit to Monaghan. They played very well, they worked very hard, and they were good value for their win.
No, they were, and home venue is not proving very rewarding for Kerry this league campaign. You know, Rory, losing 2 league matches in February, that's not exactly a crime in itself. But however, one of them in Tralee and the other one in Killarney, that has the whoops factor to it.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. I mean, Monaghan are starting to enjoy their trips down south at this stage, you know. I suppose after the last game, from a Kerry's perspective, we were all expecting some sort of reaction after the Mayo loss. So, you know, it just never came today, Michael. But in fairness to Monaghan, they were absolutely terrific from the get-go. I mean, terrific work rate, terrific appetite for work from first minute to last.
We were praising some of Kerry's newcomers here recently on the programme, Pat, but today obviously didn't figure out.
No, after a dismal second half flop against Mayo, one expected, like Roy said, one expected a fight back today, one expected a reaction, and there was no reaction. They were flat, they deserved to be beaten. Monaghan were up for it, they dominated physically, their defensive system was brilliant, their structure was excellent. This was a very, very disappointing performance from Kerry, particularly in the first half with the wind. They left behind 2 goals, which they should have scored 5 points. But I'm just... look, there's nothing decided in February, but losing 2 matches in February is bad. And I worry about a couple of things. I worry about their passing, they're cagey, they're conservative, they're not playing with the freedom one expects. A lot of lateral passing, a lot of carrying the ball into possession. And I'm just looking at the statistics, and I can never ever remember, maybe some historians out there will say, a Kerry team, a Kerry forwards got 1 score from play today. 1 point.
Yeah.
That tells you how bad they were. They didn't deserve anything out of that game.
At the same time, that we have to acknowledge is also up to the opposition, and Monaghan were better than them today. And Rory, you were impressed with their general work rate and their application.
Absolutely. I mean, from the very start, I think Monaghan went down there to lay down a marker, and this is very clearly seen here in this first example we're going to show. Drew Wiley circled here. This is Paul Gainey, gets the ball and just bang. He's going to take no nonsense today. He puts Gainey on his backside, and this has just summed them up the entire day. The next one here is Ryan Wiley, and terrific block and Drew Wiley's following up with another savage hit over the line, and that there just summed them up, you know. And this is one hunting in packs, Michael. You know, you see them, both of them running back there, and again, as Shane Kerry, ball pops out, and this just summed up Monaghan all day long. This is in the dying moments of the match, okay, and 5 Monaghan players here surrounding the ball. You know, Darren O'Sullivan gets it, nowhere to go, and offloaded turnover, Dugan's away up the field, and that just summed them up. Another player who done fantastically well today was Kieran Hughes. I thought he was superb. Fetching, that's off a Kerry kick out, and then this is him driving, asking the question of the Kerry defence, and a great score there off his right foot. Absolutely fantastic leader for Monaghan.
Actually, that clip just at the end of it there, it does exemplify something else, because Kieran McManus, we're so used to him carrying the can for Monaghan, and no better man at doing it, obviously. But today we saw scores coming from other places as well, and that has to be encouraging.
Yeah, one of the criticisms I suppose you could lay at Monaghan's table is the fact that 2 were relying, but other players stood up today. I thought this fella, Jack McCarron, was absolutely outstanding here today. Picks the ball here, and what I want you to watch here is the composure that he shows. One dummy and then another little dummy and into the net. Fantastic finish. Absolutely lovely little ball here by Ryan Wiley and around the corner. He gets it here 1v1, and there's only one thing he's thinking: I'm taking you on. And again, clips in a lovely score. But it wasn't just him, Michael. There was other players as well, and certainly Gavin Dugan, absolutely fantastic running off the ball here, strong running. Conor McManus picks up the ball, and what about this here for a finish? I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. You know, Monaghan are certainly riding the crest of a wave at the minute.
Well, they played well today. Not a good day for one of your county men today, Pat, Brian Sheehan.
No.
And I suppose when you look at this...
Yeah, I think when Brian looks at this incident tonight and sees the replay, he won't be happy with it. He was just on the field, a brilliant catch, great mark. Now, having caught the ball, Kieran Hughes holds on to him. In frustration, Brian strikes out. The fist looks closed. It's a striking action with a closed fist. It's a red card. He deserves to be sent off. And as you can see, when he's walking off the field here, the reaction from Amos Fitzmaurice would suggest that he wasn't a happy camper, because he knew goddamn well that Kerry were a goal down at the time. There was no arm around the shoulder. No frustration, struck out. Red card, correct decision, and game over once he went off.
No arguments. All right. OK, at this point, we are headed for a